Hello and welcome to the TMC Newsroom, and thank you for watching. Today on our program is Dean Hamilton, who's the CTO of Gale Technologies. This is our part of our continuing series of interviews at Interop 2010, which is taking place in Las Vegas. How are you?
I'm fine. Thanks for having me.
Welcome to the show. And first question is, tell us more about your company, please.
Well, Gale Technologies is about a 10-year-old company, and we have been doing infrastructure as a service for our customers, enabling technologies. We have a software product that lets telecom service providers, when we started out, deliver their lab services in a cloud model, what we call infrastructure as a service. And more recently, we've now taken our product and we've moved towards the enterprise data center, IT operations, helping them operate in a cloud model.
And how does that help your customers, your products?
What it helps them do is take efficiency up in their utilization of capital equipment. You know, in a lot of these data centers or labs, they have very, very expensive equipment, servers, storage, networking devices. The average utilization of that equipment tends to be quite low, 10 to 15%. What they'd like to do is take that up to 50, 60, 70% utilization, so the next time they need more capacity, they don't have to go out and buy a new piece of equipment. So by operating in a cloud model, what we do is we make sure the equipment's not tied down. You know, today in the current operating model, the servers are tied down to an application, the Exchange server, the BlackBerry server,
sure.
Right? But you know, maybe in the afternoon or in the evening or after hours, that application doesn't need that capacity. That server capacity could be repurposed somewhere else, right? Instead of buying another server for the business analytics application, it has to run in the evening. In a cloud model, what happens is there's mobility between the applications, and the applications can move and they can utilize just the amount of resources that they need at any given point in time. Now, you need a lot of intelligence and automation to do that, and that's where we come in. We provide the automation and intelligence to get that done.
So you've got multiple applications running on these server platforms. Is that how it works, or I mean, what's the logic and the glue allowing this all to take place in the cloud?
So what we do is we enable you. Say you're an enterprise data center manager.
Okay.
You've got your equipment there. We want you to run that data center operation like an Amazon Web Services, like a cloud provider.
Okay.
And we want you to not have your applications nailed down to physical servers. We want you to have those applications essentially float and use resources where they're needed, when they need them. And so you know, again, the financial services application may need a lot of compute capacity during the day, not so much maybe during the evening. So we want that application to grow and shrink with its capacity as needed. So what we do, what Gale does, is we bring an automation suite, our Gale Force product, our server and client, that will go out and basically move the applications around so that the applications are only consuming the resources they need. Maybe in the daytime in peak utilization, that application needs to have a cluster of 4 processors under it and so much storage. But in the evening, it could let go of some of those processors, let some other application suck that up and give up some of its resources. We help the application do that. We basically
Is it a middleware layer?
It's interesting to see it as middleware. I think it is middleware in a way. It's a control plane. It's a way to think of it as an intelligent control plane for all of the resources in your data center or lab.
So to the application, it thinks it's talking to the machine.
Yeah. The application has no awareness of us. The application still sees itself sitting on a server, running, using resources, doing what it does happily. But as its utilization requirements ebb and flow, we see that from a Gale Force, from the control plane perspective, and we say, oh, that capacity is now underutilized. Let's relocate it somewhere else where it can be efficiently utilized. So the application never knows about it.
So it's similar. I mean, I don't mean to trivialize, but just to make it easier for people watching to I guess, identify if you were to go into your process manager on a Windows machine and just make a process a low priority, or even on a Unix machine or Linux machine,
Sure.
making it a low priority or a high priority. But obviously with more granularity, you can add processors, you can take away processors.
That's right.
You can
That's
add
right.
memory, you can decrease memory.
That's absolutely right, and we use virtualization to do that. So the applications are running on a virtual server environment, VMware or Citrix Xen virtual server environment, and we can dial up or dial down the capacity parameters of the virtual server, and then it's using less of the physical server infrastructure, or we actually move the virtual machine from one machine to another, take it off a big platform, put it on a smaller platform.
So really, I mean, you're making data centers much more efficient. I mean, people can call you a green technology enabler, saving money, I mean, saving electricity, saving cooling, power, I mean, all of the above. All the good things.
All of the above.
Are there any negatives that we need to know about?
Well, I think the negatives, I wouldn't know if I would call them negatives, but I think to get into this, what I call the dynamic data center model, or the efficient data center model, or cloud model, there's lots of names for it, takes a sort of a cultural shift in the operational thinking of how data center managers run their operations today. Because today, data center operations are very siloed. It's a technology-centric operating model. You have the networking guys, the storage guys, the server guys, the virtualization guys, the tools guys. They're all sort of separate little kingdoms. To operate in this model, it's really more of a services-centric model. And more automation is in play. Things are coming and going sort of automatically. And so it takes all the players sort of talking to each other. The compute guys have to be communicating with the storage guys, with the virtualization guys. And so getting people out of that kind of ownership technology siloed mindset and getting them into the cloud mindset, where we have basically a pool of resources and they're all going to work together and shift dynamically to deliver just what we want when we want it. I see that as one of the bigger challenges that we face. It's a cultural shift.
That's great. I mean, I'm glad you put it in a succinct way for the viewers to realize, so they know what's coming, because this is game-changing stuff that we're talking about here. So I got the signal. We've got about 30 seconds left.
Sure.
What is next for your company?
Well, I think next we really want to get into the business of enabling public cloud. We want to start putting service providers into the business of being the Amazon Web Services of the world. There's so many hosting providers, data center providers today that are doing rack-based hosting that aren't getting high efficiency there either. They could take their game up a level by starting operating like an Amazon and offering cloud-based services to the public. I think we can become a technology enabler for that.
That's fantastic. Well, thanks for being on the program today.
Yeah, thanks for having me.
It was nice to meet you. This is great, and good luck.
Yeah, appreciate it. Thank you.